Yep.
It's the second half of our doubleheader here at the Solent Sports Complex. Welcome everyone to the Solent Sports Complex for the second of our doubleheader here in the city of Southampton. It's Christmas time and the Solent Kestrels want to go into Christmas top of the table. They're currently 10-1, but third place Hemel Storm will have something to say about that, led by their duo of Taylor Johnson and Greg Polion. Good afternoon and good evening everyone. John Hobbs alongside Mark Jackson. Mark Halewood has braved the weather to join us here today. Mark, welcome. We're going to start with the team lists. First off, starting with the Solent Kestrels, as we have a little bit of internet issues, but we can get the team list, and there it is. Travis Charles, Mark Halewood, returns to the lineup in an otherwise familiar team sheet full of, great players.
Yeah, and much unchanged for Solent, isn't it? And Travis Charles, Cole Gentry, going to be really, really strong going forwards.
And we're having some microphone issues there for Mark Halewood. But Mark Jackson, we're going to go to the Hemel Storm quickly. And as said, as we go into the Hemel Storm lineup, Taylor Johnson and Greg Polion, the obvious standouts, but a few former Solent Kestrels, Ashley and Teo Oyafusi in that lineup as well.
Yeah, I know John's come. John must be relishing this opportunity to come back and play in his old arena. I'm speaking to some of the Solent lads. Elliot, Dad is looking forward to playing against him. Yeah, it's been a while since Teo put on a Kestrel shirt, but I'm sure he's looking forward to getting after it.
So as we try and fix Mark Halewood's microphone and some internet issues we have here at the moment. Seems like a familiar story when we come into Solent.
Too many people.
We have
there we go.
And there's
There
Mark.
he is.
Mark returns to our lineup. Of course, being at a university, internet issues, as per university rules, only stick to internal staff. Of course, NBL Live team, Basketball England are external, so we have to make do with what we can try and get. I know Sonar TV, the great people of Sonar TV, are helping us out here today, and they're trying their best to try and establish some internet connection. What we will tell you is we are struggling at the moment to get a score graphic on, so we might not have a score graphic, just to let you know, and we will update you with if we can get it, and we will be telling you what the score is pretty much at every interval, or as much as we can, so we do apologise for that. So starting fives for today's game: Max Richardson, Cole Gentry, Orlan Jackman, Luke Bazumbru and Elliot Dadds start for the Kestrels, and for the Hemel Storm, Sam Newman, Levi Knoll, Taylor Johnson, Teo Olafusi and Greg Polion will start for the Kestrels. Three-man refereeing crew today: Ed Udansky, Ian Lester and Ian Spearman. Mark, are you on now?
I think so.
Oh, crikey, there we are.
Well, I was there before, I think. Sometimes you can't hear me, but YouTube can. So, yeah, I'm back now.
It's
Thank goodness.
It's how we wish. It's how we want it to be.
Yeah, you don't want to hear me, but everyone else can.
A few of the women's players are sticking behind for this game. Of course, the Solent Kestrels women defeated the Worcester Wolves 104-54 in our first game of the day. If you've just joined us on the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome everyone. John Hobbs, Mark Halewood and Mark Jackson. I'll try not to get the two Marks confused.
Are we going with Jacks for Mark Jackson?
Yeah, that'll work.
We'll just go Jacks?
Yeah, just
I was going to go Mark 1, Mark 2. But
no, that would be even
yeah,
more
I don't want
confusing.
that. I don't want that.
Jacks is fine. That's what everybody else knows me as.
Of course, a rematch of the playoff final from last season. Of course, Solent, led by the departing Ian Smith, claiming a big victory there. Ian Smith with an MVP performance in the Northwest on that day. Of course, Ian Smith has left to go back to the States. Cole Gentry, number 3 for the Kestrels, has replaced him. And Mark, you were saying, or Mark Jackson, sorry, very similar styles of play, but a strong defensive presence, Cole Gentry on the ball now.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed the most. He still is offensive-minded, but yeah, he can pretty much lock everybody up. You can see the defensive intensity is a bit higher than Ian, with the same offensive mentality of attacking the basket.
So unfortunately, we've been unable to get a scoreboard up. We will try and get that up as the game progresses. We are working on that. However, the game has just started. No score just yet. Here is Levi Knoll for the Hemel Storm. Polion to Taylor Johnson. Taylor Johnson driving. Good defense from Elliot Dadds, and Max Richardson with the rebound. Gentry. Richardson likes that 3. Doesn't get it to go, though, and Polion with the rebound.
Richardson hasn't had a lot of starts for Kestrels this year. He's been predominantly off the bench, so it's interesting to see how or what matchup Coach Guyman sees to keep Max Richardson with the start.
And Oyafusi over Richardson for the first points of the game, 2-0 in favour of the Storm. Well, Solent winning all the fixtures between these two teams last season. They met 4 times. Jackman, good defense from Polion, but
and
Jackman
one.
stays with it and
one.
gets the and one.
This guy's been massive. He's been massive for Solent all season long. Showing his veteran, I mean, coming from the BBL, he always go inside, all hands an automatic bucket.
Second season with the Kestrels, averaging around 11.6 rebounds a game, shooting 51% from the field.
Makes that long trip down from London twice a week.
Of course, few of the players actually, not living in Southampton. Orlan Jackman being one of them, living in London. Max Richardson and Brendan Okoronkwo both living in the Hove area of East Sussex. Here's Newman. Polion finds a bit of room and scores.
Interesting, they've started Orlan Jackman over Travis Charles at the 5, so again, wonder what they see in that matchup, and maybe they want to run another big body at Polion through the night and keep him working hard.
Well, Travis Charles with his first game back from injury, starting on the bench tonight. Here is Levi Knoll. Storm lead 4-3 early doors. Polion spinning and doesn't get the roll. He hit one earlier, and Cole Gentry, the smallest man on the court, with the rebound. And Gentry on the controls. Here is Richardson. Backing down Newman. Newman stood his ground, and Oyafusi gets the ball, and here's Newman for the Storm.
Oh.
Taylor Johnson breaking in transition. No foul called.
No call on a break.
And Bazumbru comes up with it. Bazumbru, no good with his layup attempt.
Back and
Furious pace to this game. Oyafusi likes the 3, and he will go to the line for 3 shots. And Teo Oyafusi really coming alive in the first 3 minutes of this game. And he's going to go to the foul line for 2. And Mark, Jackson, you were speaking about how Teo Oyafusi was really up for this game, playing against his former club, and so far really being aggressive.
Definitely. I think Elliot Dadds will be annoyed at himself for that. Could have closed out and not clipped him. But yeah, it's a great start.
If you've just joined us on the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome.
Just thinking back to your comment about the starters, and like predominantly never starts the same 5 the entire season. He's always mixing his 5s up.
It's a credit to him, really, isn't it? Because I think what you're seeing is that he's game planning every game. He's not scouting ahead. He's scouting ahead, seeing which matchups he favours. And again, perhaps he likes the fact that there's a couple of inside-outside guys for Hemel, Oyafusi being one of them. You don't find many of them in this league who kind of big, 3-4s, can play a bit of wing, can play a bit inside. And maybe he prefers kind of having all and on as well, who can do a bit of that, whereas Travis is probably going to do his work down low, isn't he?
Yeah.
Of course, if you've just joined us here on the Basketball England YouTube channel, of course, you can see notably we don't have a score graphic. Unfortunately, we are working on that at the moment. We have got internet issues here at Solent University.
We're relying on you for the score, John. You are the scoreboard.
Let me just have a look right now.
There you go.
There's one right there.
5 to 3. There's one there as well, Jack. 5 to 3 in favour of the Hemel Storm. As Teo Oyafusi splits his free throws. And here is Bazumbru. Jackman to Richardson. Bazumbru. Looking for a bit of room. Shot clock down to 6. Gentry puts up a 3 over Noel.
My goodness. Oh, my.
A 46% three-point shooter for the season, Cole Gentry.
That was deep.
First pro season out of Ohio.
Good defense.
And here come the Kestrels again. Cole Gentry feeling it from downtown again.
Oh, no. You do not want him to get going.
2 quick threes for Cole Gentry, and the three-point counter is on for the point guard. Here is Levi Knoll. Kestrels lead 9 to 5. And a bit of a miscommunication there between Knoll and Polion, or Oyafusi, excuse me. Richardson getting in on the act. Why not?
Going to burn one? Nope.
12 to 5 in favour of the Kestrels.
I wonder if Hemel will try and go to Taylor Johnson here or Polion. They've got to go to somebody who can put a bucket on the board. So you could see him looking for Johnson and here's Polion from outside.
Polion hits from outside.
And he had something to say to the crowd too. He had something to say to the crowd.
I don't want to say I've called it, John, but
Taylor's going to have a long night with Elliot Daz guarding him.
Bazumbru for 3. Oh, Jackman was nearly getting the tip in there. Newman comes up with it. No.
Mismatch down there.
Yeah.
Good
Noel
pass.
Tips it.
Nice tip.
Tips it to Taylor Johnson.
Smart play.
Who finds Newman in the corner for 3, and that rattles in and out. Taylor Johnson gets the loose ball, and he's going to go to the foul line.
Taylor Johnson, for me, and I know Jack, you said it's the first time seeing him in person, that he scores on so many different levels. He's very good inside, gets those sorts of buckets, gets to the foul line, good in mid-range, and can shoot the 3. So he's such an elite scorer in this league, and you won't find many guys that can hit shots from everywhere, but he's really, really good to watch.
Yeah, I watched him play a couple of times when he was at Thames Valley.
Yep.
And it was always a tough matchup. Yeah, tough matchup. He's very deceptive.
Yeah, you see him get kind of 30-odd points, and you realise he's been to the line 14 times in the game. You think, well, if he can get there that many times, he's going to fill it up.
Yeah.
Camille Archer and Brendan Okoronkwo into the game for the first time for the Kestrels, and Elliot Daz on 2 fouls will sit down. Orlan Jackman is the other player to take a seat. Of course, a lot of the offensive burden on Taylor Johnson and Greg Polion. They averaged 70 points last week in their win over the Essex Rebels. Going a bit deeper in their win in the league against London Lions 2. They combined for 75 points.
Good rebound.
As Kamel Archer gets the putback, and the Kestrels lead 14 to 10.
Real X factor for Solent. Kamel Archer, been a really good pickup in his first year. And when you lose Lashley, who's been one of those bodies for Solent, and you pick up a Kamel Archer, you've done pretty good out of the deal.
Averaging nearly a double-double this season, Kamel Archer. As here he is on the ball now, averaging 9 points, 11 boards. Archer loses the ball, trying to get it. Levi Knoll fighting him for it, and it's a jump ball. It will stay. Excuse me, it's a possession arrow. It will stay with the Storm. But Jack's, a strong start, strong statement of intent from both teams. Kestrels leading 14-10.
Yeah, it's a nice start from both teams. We expect it to go this way. You wonder how long Travis is going to sit there. Is he going to make an early appearance? But yeah, it's good, great tempo to start with. Taylor Johnson's going to start getting going.
Still without a scoreboard, but the Kestrels lead 14-10 right now. If you're joining us on the YouTube channel, welcome everybody. First play third, as the Kestrels look to end the year on top. And an offensive foul, a defensive foul has been called.
All Gentry there.
See on the replay there as
holding Lashley on that screen.
Absolutely, yeah. Lashley into the game, just holding there. Gentry committed, and that's a first foul for Cole Gentry. Adelola into the game for the first time as well for the Storm. Taylor
nice
Johnson
turn.
on the turnaround.
I'm telling you.
And there's that mid-range.
Yeah, there it is.
Seen one inside, one mid-range now.
Yep.
Elliott Sentence. Archer. Sentence. Driving inside. Open Cole Gentry.
Good boy.
He's gone a bit cold now.
There's Kamel again.
But Elliott Sentence with the offensive board picks up the three, and that's long.
Nice rebound, Brendan.
Brendan Okoronkwo, such a hustler when it comes to the loose ball. Here is Adelola. Polion for three is good.
Always two. Foot was on that line.
2-pointer, as you say, Jackson stepped on the line.
You hate that as a coach. Step back. Nice, Kamel.
Kamel Archer taking the contact from Jonathan Lashley and scoring. And the Kestrels lead 16-14 with 3:25 remaining in the first. Sam Newman. Adelola in his 10th season with the Storm. Well, an ambassador for the club he has been. Polion.
Good D.
That's a three, and that's short. And Luke Bazumbro, it's 2-on-1. Bazumbro going all the way.
Great in transition is Bazumbro.
Yeah.
Loves to push the ball in transition. Polion loses the ball. Okoronkwo with the defense. Sentence from downtown.
Oh,
And Adelola with the rebound.
D. Brendan. Take some time off.
18-14 in favour of the Kestrels. 2:40 remaining in the first.
Good move.
Lashley putting the moves on Okoronkwo and scoring.
I was just about to say the play before is that I think one of the weaknesses I found for Solent is I don't think they guard the dribble very well. One-on-one defence. It's not bad. It just happens to be one of their weak points in what is a very strong defensive club. So I think if Hemel can start to go off the bounce a little bit, it may well give them some problems and a different look for Solent to deal with.
Sentence. Bazumbro driving, finds Archer with the floater. And Lashley rebounds. Be an interesting matchup between Archer and Lashley, of course. Kind of like for like when Lashley was replaced last season.
Yeah, and like I said before, it's one of those funny. It may even will be an upgrade, to be honest, as Polion's on the leak out.
Yeah, and there's Polion open in transition, and an easy score for Greg Polion. Gentry, beautifully done along the baseline, and Cole Gentry with 8 points. And the Kestrels lead 20-18. Final 90 seconds of the first period. Newman finds inside, finds Polion. That's beautiful from the Storm.
Newman's another one of those pickups for Hemel that's been a very, very good one over the last off-season. Just gives them another guard. They only ran with Levi Knoll before, but to have him in there as well is really beneficial.
Very steady, isn't he?
Yep.
Picks the right time to make the right pass.
And substitutions coming in. Jack Bonnell and Shaquille Lewis will check in for the first time for the Storm as Greg Polion takes a seat alongside Sam Newman. Game is tied at 20 with 1:13 remaining in the first. And Jax, one thing that we have seen from Solent over the years is their quick starts, but they've been almost sort of slow burners in the first quarter of this season, haven't they?
Yeah, a bit more steady. don't get me wrong, the rest of the teams in the league have raised their
Shaquille
game.
Lewis puts in a
They've
2.
recruited a lot.
And the Storm now take a 22-20 lead as we enter the final minute of the first. Gentry, almost in Gentry range there. As Taylor Johnson says no. Here is Buzumbru looking to drive on Lewis. Kicks it out, finds Sentence in the corner, and Lewis with the rebound. Adelola over Buzumbru and scores, and a foul! Bodie Adelola shooting over Luke Buzumbru. That's a first foul for Buzumbru. He's trying to plead his case to the officials, nothing doing. But the Storm have now raced out to a 24-20 lead.
Bodie's another one of those guys that he may stay quiet for 2 quarters, and then in the third he's going to just go off for 15 points. So there's just a lot of pieces, as you said, Jax. You know, the top probably 5 or 6 teams have really levelled up this year, so it makes these kind of top 5, 6 team clashes just really interesting, because anyone could beat anyone on any given night.
Yeah, for sure.
Sentence. Okoronkwo 8 to shoot, and asking too much of Buzumbru, who Okoronkwo I think was looking for that backdoor cut, and Buzumbru didn't go with it.
Good look. Buzumbru half went and then stopped. Look at a layup.
Shot clock is turned off. Final seconds of the first quarter. Adelola. Good defense from Archer and a block. 1.5 seconds remaining in the first.
A bit much there to try and shoot that over Camille. Got a wingspan like you would believe.
We are told a 7'2" wingspan Camille Archer has. Obviously, I think Camille Archer will probably say it's a longer one, but who are we to argue?
Nice pass.
Lewis on the buzzer scores. Great inbound play there from the Hemel Storm. And at the end of the first quarter, the Solent Kestrels trail the Hemel Storm 27-20. Greg Polion leading all scorers with 11 points. Cole Gentry with 8 points. But a strong first quarter for the Hemel Storm, Jacks.
Yeah, even spread, they're doing well. They're sharing the ball, getting the right people the right shots. They're not rushing anything. And then you've got Solent down here that, other than Cole Gentry hitting those threes, they're electing to take that 3 on the break, and it's not dropping for them at the moment.
And Mark, for the Hemel Storm, a really strong period. They've been playing to their strengths, and it's working dividends so far. Yeah,
I mean, the usual suspects are putting the ball in the bucket, but when you get, a couple from Bodie and Shaquille puts one in as well, like, that's what they're going to need. But we all know that Solent get dangerous when they can score or get on the break in bunches, so it's one of those where 7 points could certainly turn into 5 points down in the matter of minutes. So Hemel will have to keep going, and like I said, I think my from seeing Hemel during the year is that sometimes they don't always adjust to the run, so we're going to need to see what happens when Solent go on their first run of the game.
Of course, this is the last time this year that we will be on your screens, the NBL Live and WNBL Live team. The next time we will be back will be on January the 2nd. We'll be travelling along the M27 to Worthing for the L Lynch Trophy Final. Of course, it is semi-final weekend across the country, as Newcastle and Reading are currently playing at the moment. Of course, Solent Kestrels will be playing tomorrow afternoon in Derby. And to catch all of the Basketball England fixtures, the NBL fixtures across the Basketball England YouTube channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. And of course, a big shout out to the game day sponsors, the NBL Live game day sponsors, Wilson Dynamic and SportServe, alongside Sport England and Sure Shot. Of course, Wilson now providing the match balls for the NBA, as the long-tenured service with Spalding has ended. I hear that you are a Spalding guy still yourself, Mark. You've got to change to Wilson, surely.
I think in college, the league I played in college had Wilsons when I was in the US. I think they played with a Wilson, but I've still got the Spalding Ultimate Indoor that everyone had. There's no leather left on it. It's just made of cardboard now.
Of course, Mark.
Remember Rawlings? We played with Rawlings.
Oh, yeah.
Our team played with Rawlings, mate.
Now that was a back in the day one. That was as Cole Gentry misses the three. And
remember Mikasa?
No, so you
Blue,
might,
yellow,
now
and
you're
white.
showing your age.
I think you might be beyond me
Blue,
now.
yellow, and white.
I'm in my 30s still, Jack.
Hey. Everybody out there will know where I'm coming from.
Of course, Mark Jackson, a favourite of the Badens from back in the day.
Oh God, yeah.
Shaquille Lewis, baseline jumper is good.
Simple look.
Yeah, if you would say that Hemel are up by 9 and Taylor Johnson's only scored 4,
You're happy.
you'd be happy, wouldn't you?
Bruce Spinks is happy right now.
Well, Shaquille Lewis stepping up off the bench with 6 points so far for the Hemel Storm. They're shooting the ball very well, Hemel, as well. 61% from the field, Jacks, as opposed to 40% from the Kestrels.
Well, like we said in the women's game, it's played in runs. Let's see if Solent can react.
Here is Jackman fading away. That's a tough shot.
Yeah.
Shaquille Lewis rebounds, and here come the Storm again. Johnson putting the moves on Bazumbru. Good defense from Bazumbru. Here is Lashley just beyond the free throw, nearly banked it home. Johnson picks up the loose change and says thank you.
Be surprised how many of those Taylor gets. Just being in and around the rim.
6'2", such a deceptive defender and offensive player. And Bazumbru,
So athletic, it's ridiculous.
absolutely, he'll go to the line for 2. And you know, spending time at the Monteverde Academy, Luke Bazumbru, playing alongside an NBA player in D'Angelo Russell, and you know, a player who just loves to break out in transition, gets the majority of his points from there.
I've trained with him last season a few times, and how fast he changes direction, coming at you at speed, it's phenomenal.
We saw him in, what final did we see him in, John? Reading and Solent, and he ended up being with the MVP and was absolutely unplayable that day.
Oh, the National Cup final.
National Cup final, he was unplayable.
Was that against Reading?
Yep.
Yeah,
That was against Reading, yeah. And a certain Orlan Jackman was joining us for commentary
He
on
did,
that.
yeah.
And even he was in awe of just how quick Bazumbru was to the bucket. In fact, Brendan Okoronkwo got MVP in that National Cup final.
Oh,
It was a toss-up between Bazumbru and Okoronkwo,
Thanks,
though.
John, for covering me.
Yeah, Okoronkwo taking MVP honours that day. Of course, the National Cup final returning to Essex at the end of January on the 23rd. Solent are in the semi-finals for that as well, looking to retain their title that they won in 2019. Of course, the COVID pandemic meant there was no National Cup. Bazumbru all the way. Good defence from Shaquille Lewis, but Ed Yadansky, the official, in good position to see a foul.
Yeah, what Bazumbru does, straight line drive, trying to finish over the rim. Might have got away with a little stutter step on the start of the drive, but we'll skip over that.
I'm in coach mode. I've wanted him to finish with his right hand there. So
I was looking for the dunk.
One.
See, I'm in fan mode.
Either dunk it or finish with your right hand, so you get an hand one.
That's a second foul on Shaquille Lewis, a left-handed player. Luke Bazumbru very strong with his left hand.
Oh God! Yeah.
At times doesn't like using that right hand though, Jax.
And you notice a lot of teams will sit off Luke. They'll give him 6 feet if he's on that three-point line because he doesn't want to shoot it. It's all downhill with Luke.
An underrated three-point shooter though is Luke Bazumbru. When he gets into rhythm, can make them.
Yeah.
I think he had a couple of teams, like you said, Jacks, that played him very deep early in the year. I was here for Reading Solent early in the year, and they did the same thing, stood nearly 10 feet off him, and he actually really, really struggled from the field that day. So it's a way to play him, but yeah, like you said, John, you take the risk that if he makes a few, he could make a few more.
Yeah.
And Elliot Dadds will come into the game, back into the game. Bazumbru will actually take a seat as Mr. Southampton, as he is dubbed, returns to the floor. We'll get to Dadds in just a second. Here is Taylor Johnson. Adelola, wide open three is short. Shaquille Lewis again scores. Shaquille Lewis.
1 foot. That's not. Most coaches will put their head in their hands.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Shaquille Lewis, though, having a fantastic first half here off the bench. 8 points so far.
It's my fault for saying pre-game that I wasn't going to expect much off him, John. We said off camera I wasn't sure he was going to do much.
Richardson in the corner. And the Storm now lead by double figures. They lead 33-23. Apologies for not bringing you the score as frequently as I said I was going to, as we continue to have internet issues that plagues our score graphic. Here is Taylor Johnson driving. Storm lead 33-23. Good defense from Richardson. Shot clock winding down to 2. A three-pointer no good for Polion, and Solent come away with it. A much-needed stop for them.
Just a thought for you both. Travis Charles maybe carrying an injury.
You know, he's had sciatica in his back.
I was going to say, he has been out for a few games as Okoronkwo with the score and letting Levi Knoll know about it. Levi Knoll falls to the floor and Okoronkwo just ignoring it, walks off. I think that was just 6 and 1, half a dozen the other. But
tangled up.
Just saying, Travis Charles has been out for a couple of games with injury. This is his first game back. It's a case of how many minutes he will truly get today. I mean, Camille Archer will see probably more action than Travis Charles will. But still quite, a very strong influence off the bench, no doubt about it, Travis Charles.
I guess my gut feeling is, having not played in the first kind of 15-minute or nearly 15 minutes, he's probably not going to see the floor unless, because if it's a back, you wouldn't want him to warm up, sit and get tight, and then try and run. So I presume we won't see him. But you saw him on the shot before there, where he's coaching away and trying to get the guys going. So still going to be an influence on that bench. And
Jax, we were going to touch on Elliot Dadds just very briefly. Of course, you know Elliot very well. You worked together at Brockenhurst College, just down the road, and we've dubbed him Mr. Southampton. Of course, you are a local guy yourself, and you've spent a number of years with the Solent Stars, and you watch these guys play week in, week out. What does Elliot mean to this community of Southampton, particularly the basketball community?
I mean, he's like, I don't want to blow his trumpet because he'll just, I'll never hear the end of it at work. But no, like coming through the junior program, he's just someone that you would want to, aim to be. Like, his attitude's fantastic at college. He's always telling his kids to chase their dreams. He's very disciplined in what he does. His values are what makes him a great player. I know he comes on a Sunday morning and coaches the minis. He's always around the kids coaching.
It was Elliot Dadds now in his 6th season with the team. 33% three-point shooter, very decent three-point shooter is Elliot Dadds, and has seemingly been with the Kestrels team forever. And on cue, a steal from Dadds. Okoronkwo, Richardson, 2 former Worthing Thunder players, passing it around together. Here is Gentry, finds a bit of room, puts in a 3.
See if Cole can give him a spark.
And the Kestrels now trail 33-28 with 6:10 remaining in the first half.
Clever from Guyman out of the timeout too. Came out with full court pressure, went on a 1-2-2 trap and got a turnover, and then 10-point leads, now 5.
Noel back to Polion, shot clock down to 2. Noel puts up a 3, nearly knocked down a 3. And an unsportsmanlike foul called
on Taylor Johnson.
And it's on Taylor Johnson. Drew Spinks, the coach, just trying to wonder what happened there. It must have been, I don't think he saw it. Michael Darlow, his assistant, just elaborating what happened.
I think he just grabbed Brendan as he ran. Tried to run the break. It was right down here in front of us.
Of course, where we are in the commentary box there, we do have to reach a little bit to get a full view of the court. It's certainly one for the over 6-footers, no doubt about it. Of course, I struggled there, but either way, Brendan Okoronkwo to the line for the unsportsmanlike free throw.
I'm still struggling because there's a monitor that we're not using that's the size of a television in front of me. So
I made that point earlier. It's not plugged in, and can we?
It's not my fault, okay?
Blame John.
Not my fault.
I think we had blame Mark for a while, didn't we? So get back to blame John.
Which one?
I don't mind as long as it's not me.
But the gap has been trimmed now to 3 points. So a 7-0 run by the Kestrels. 5:54 remaining in the second quarter. 33-30 to the Hemel Storm. Okoronkwo. Shot clock down to 1. Gentry nearly tied it with that 3. Old Gentry on 11 points so far for the Kestrels.
If it's me here, Hemel, I'm trying to get something at the rim. They've been shooting jumpers, they're not going down, but again, they're running a horn set away from the rim. Need someone to really attack, get to the free throw line, slow this down a bit.
4 to shoot though. Noel driving on Okoronkwo. Heavy shot is no good. And away come the Kestrels again. Richardson, a bit of room for three. And Jackman nearly got the rebound. Taylor Johnson with the loose ball. Noel. Always a risky pass, and it's a turnover for the Storm. It was a risky pass from Noel to look for Polion, especially when Jackman was almost in front of him.
Yeah. He's an awesome post defender as well as all clever.
It's not all about that muscle, is it? He's got good feet, good hands. You know, misconception is it's just
a bit of savvy.
Yep.
Nice.
Gentry finds a bit of room inside. Too light with his layup attempt. Sam Newman back into the game for the Storm on the ball. Noel. Johnson at the controls. And here is Taylor Johnson looking for Oyafusi, who's wide open for three, and that's off the back iron. Polion with the offensive rebound. And Max Richardson making life difficult for Oyafusi. Johnson, wide three is good.
That guy's smooth. He's so smooth. You kind of knew that three was coming, didn't you? But still he gets it off and it's smooth.
It's one of those where you're hoping they come down and get something for Taylor Johnson by design, and you know, he's very good from the three-point line, as you'll see, and he can just pull up with a hand down and he makes it. But you were hoping that Drew Spinks changes it, goes to Poley and goes to Taylor Johnson, because the last few shots have been Bodie, they've been Levi Noel, and you think just get it to one of the main guys, and Taylor Johnson delivers.
Shooting 3 for 4 from the field. Taylor Johnson hasn't taken as many shots, as we would have expected. And as we were saying, Jax, at the start, you know, Shaquille Lewis has really stepped up alongside Polion and Johnson, but they combined for 70 points against Essex, and the week before that, against London Lions 2, they combined for 75 points, Taylor Johnson and Greg Polion. So a lot of the offensive impetus is on there, but so far Matt Guyman has seen a number of other Hemel Storm players step up.
Oh, it's nice when your non-scorers step up and they've got more of an opportunity. I think, like you say, it's down to Solent just locking in on those two key players. You saw with the women's game earlier that we had 6 or 7 people in double figures, and that's what Hemel would love, to have 6, 7, 8 people in double figures. It's hard to rely on play a season with 2 guys scoring 70 points for you.
Yes, adjustments as well. Polion hasn't scored since the first, so we're halfway through the second. He had 11 at the end of the first. He's still on 11 now. So maybe an adjustment Solent's made, and Taylor Johnson might get a few more looks.
Taylor Johnson averaging a massive 30 points this season for the Hemel Storm, alongside 8 rebounds and 2 steals. Polion, the reigning Division 1 MVP, averaging around 27. Gentry. Storm lead 36-30. Here is Dads driving baseline on the spin, kicks it out and finds Gentry. Back to Richardson, shot clock down to 3, and Taylor Johnson. In fact, the ball went out of bounds. It'll be a Hemel ball. Max Richardson with his foot on the line.
Yeah, Dads was a really nice spin and fine for Gentry. If the pass is better, he fires it up. But yeah, Max Richardson trying to go baseline, doesn't get it to go.
We were going to see that on the replay, but we're back to the live action. Here is Newman. Finds Oyafusi. Taylor Johnson is wide open. You don't want to leave Taylor Johnson open, and he gets it to go. Took a friendly roll, but the Solent Sports Complex roll is still open for business.
Looked like they got confused on the defensive matchup, and they both ran away from the wrong guy to run away from.
Yeah.
Orlan Jackman looks to respond in kind off the back iron, and Bodie Adalola with the rebound. Polion. Offensive foul. Good play there from Orlan Jackman, using his veteran, absolutely, using that veteran experience.
But come on, do you like that call or not?
No. That's body to body, just let no.
Yeah. Well, they're calling that now, aren't they, in games where it's such a. I mean, how do you call it? Is it a flop? Is it a definite enough contact to send him back that much?
Not where he went. The chest. No.
Ed Udansky in position to call that, and Ed Udansky, of course, one of the only officials in this country to referee or regularly referee games in the EuroLeague and the Eurocup. Obviously, that is a call that is made heavily across the country in these leagues. Gentry gets it off Archer and scores. That's a 3 for Carl Gentry.
I imagine the scouting report doesn't say go under that. Bodie goes under the handoff and Carl Gentry wide open.
Lashley.
These two know each other well.
Backing up Dad's turnaround jumper, no good, and Gentry comes up with it.
That's called knowing your ex-teammate.
Sentence. Boy, all the crowd literally stepped up to their feet there as a foul is called on Elliot Sentence. That'll be his first foul. Of course, Jack's Elliot Sentence in his second spell with the club, spent last season with the Plymouth Raiders in a deserved step up to the BBL. Obviously, he's come back down to Solent, and so far hasn't seen the points explosion he did in his first season, but still contributing. Yeah,
I mean, he went down there with my old coach PJ, and I don't know if it was being a role player with the Plymouth Raiders and then losing a bit of confidence, or he tries to shoot himself into it here.
Bazumbru going all the way, no good on. Picking up the pieces was Kamel Archer. Timeout, Drew Spinks.
Good finish.
And the Hemel Storm lead 39-35 with 2:02 remaining in the half. If you've just joined us on the Basketball England YouTube channel, welcome as you see the replay of that last possession for the Hemel Storm. If you've just joined us, unfortunately, due to some internet issues which we are working with at the moment alongside Sonar TV and Solent University, we're unable to get a scoreboard at the moment, a score graphic, which we were able to do for the women's game. But it's not the end of the world, because you have us and you have the action as it happens, uninterrupted, touch wood. And John Hobbs, Mark Halewood and Mark Jackson with you here tonight. And so much fantastic basketball, Mark, that we're all going to be looking forward to over the coming months. Of course, we're both going to be in Worthing for the El Lynch Trophy final and in Essex for the National Cup final. As the season, you can easily say now, is entering that halfway stage as we get to the nitty-gritty and the business side of the season, which Mark will certainly agree is what every player loves, playoff time.
Yeah, we've been in such a treat considering we lost so much of last season and won't be able to be in arenas, so it's been great to be back. And as Jackson alluded to earlier, I mean, the top 5-6 teams now are just so competitive. This is a game last year that we'd all be penciling in as probably a 20-30 point blowout against Solent. Hem will come in, they've upgraded a few guys, and then all of a sudden it feels like a really competitive game. So just going to be so good on the back end of the season.
Of course, we were here a couple of seasons ago between these two teams where Hemel, this was pre-COVID, before the COVID pandemic hit and the season was cancelled. Hemel Storm actually took Solent to the wire. I think it was the only team that really got to within single digits of the Solent Kestrels. Solent did win that game that day, and that was the season they reached the BBL Trophy final in that epic encounter against the Newcastle Eagles in Glasgow.
I find it really interesting from Coach Spinks there, where he's going pick and roll with Bodie and Jonathan Lashley, and I'm thinking surely you've got to do something to get Taylor in pick and roll and get a big get Kamel Archer away from the rim and go pick and roll like that, as opposed to having what you would say is your kind of secondary scoring options being in the pick and roll.
Yeah, and then trying to post up Kamel Archer.
Sentence, bit of room for three.
Trying to get himself going.
Has struggled from the field. Dads instead goes for three, and this time he connects. Elliot Dads from downtown. That's his first field goal of the game. Johnson.
Again, same thing, but this time with Taylor.
And now they get something different. So Kamel then ends up on the switch. Then you have Lashley inside with Bazumbru, and you're probably getting a better look than what you had before.
But Archer just a little bit too enthusiastic on the defensive end. That's his second foul as Jackman and Okoronkwo come into the game, and Archer and Elliot Dads take a seat. .117 remaining in what has been an evenly matched first half of action Here at the Solent Sports Complex, the Hemel Storm lead 39-38. Oyafusi likes the three and a bit short with his attempt there. Here is Gentry. Sentence, catch and shoot three. Gets his own rebound, floater off the glass.
I was about to say before, Jax, surely he's got to get to the rim to get himself going.
I mean, how many... It's like I'm going to shoot myself into this.
Never works, does it?
Line rather than just get to the hole.
That's his first field goal in 7 attempts.
It's like when a coach gives you a green light, but you take it to the next level.
Taylor Johnson, nearly double team, instead shoots over Bazumbru, and that's money.
Tough shot.
And a timeout has been called. Matt Guyman wants to call his troops in. 33 seconds left in the first half. Hemel Storm lead 41-42, and 41-40, excuse me. And as we enter the half, evenly matched, but Hemel, could you argue that they've been the better team in this game? I know they're up by 1, but statistically, right now.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think it's been a little bit, each team has had their spell, and Hemel has gone a bit cold now, while Solent are picking up just a little bit. I'm really interested to see what happens. Like 2 minutes and 2 seconds, Coach Spinks took a timeout up 3 and got that kind of pick and roll that he didn't really want and hasn't made any kind of significant changes. Now, Coach Guyman takes him with 30 seconds to go. I wonder if he's got, a plan for a score and a press and another score in the view of trying to, go into the half up 3 or something like that.
Both Polion and Johnson, if you're counting at home, are on 25 points combined right now. Shaquille Lewis with 8 points off the bench for the Hemel Storm. Great to have my good friend Graham Hiscock, a well-known FIBA commentator, on board with us tonight, and I wouldn't mind timeouts being mic'd up. I don't think Matt Guyman would like that, Jax, would he?
No,
but
no, he likes to keep it. He likes to keep it to himself.
A very private man is Matt Guyman.
I get it. It's just like,
Feels like a real risk, micing up a timeout. Yeah. Feels like a risk.
I'm here, coach. It used to get done in the BBL games. They just come over to Sky Sports and put them up, and then they'd walk away.
Yeah.
Because they'd hear Nick Nurse going off on someone. Bob Donwald screaming at someone. All right, let's go away from this timeout.
Here is Jackman.
Tough shot.
And Sam Newman with the rebound. Shot clock turned off. Final 15 seconds of this first half. Hemel Storm will hold it for the final shot, so they should keep the lead going into half-time. Adelola puts in a 2.
Tough shot.
Final seconds of the first half. And Cole Gentry is fouled by Adelola with 1 second remaining.
Lifted his body.
And that is Hemel are in the penalty as well. That's a first foul on Adelola, but that's now team fouls for the Storm. So Cole Gentry, an 81% free throw shooter, will go to the line.
Yeah, Solent, for me, have really got away with one. They tried to go 2 for 1 on the offensive end and didn't get it. Yep. Then they get the ball back as Hemel shoot too early. Cole goes by Bodie at the halfway line. Bodie fouls him, and they've really got away with one where Hemel should be going in up 3 at the end of the half.
Definitely. I can see, did Cole try and shoot it when he got hit?
No.
They'll never give it. They'll never give it.
Not now. Not now they won't.
A 3 right there. 3 shots. All ref.
Still 0.3 of a second remaining.
Taylor's going to try and argue for a few more ticks here, isn't he?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's been in,
yeah.
He's played in this game a few years now in this country. He's
smart.
He's pleading with the refs for some extra time.
Are they going to put it up on the floor?
Over-under getting 0.9 back on. I think they'll get...
At the moment, it's 0.3 of a second. The referees are just conferring with the table officials. Hemel lead 43-42. As Max Richardson comes into the game for the final seconds. And Shaquille Lewis comes into the game for the final seconds.
Putting some height on the court.
Yeah, they'll put Max on the inbounder.
Passes.
It doesn't look like they're going to add any more seconds. So 0.3 of a second remaining. And Max Richardson just getting a little warning there to step away from the end line possession. Just Chiara De Stefano in the women's game in Worcester last month was actually called for a technical foul when she did that. Catch and shoot, and Oyafusi's shot will not count even if it did go in, which it didn't. And that is the end of the first half, an exhilarating first half of action here in Southampton. And the Solent Kestrels trail the Hemel Storm 43-42. Cole Gentry with 16 points to lead the Kestrels. For the Storm, Taylor Johnson leads the way with 14, Greg Poley on 11. Jax, just your quick thoughts before we go into the half-time break.
I thought this is exactly where we would be. It would be a chess game between the coaches, the players, the guys hitting the shots that you expect. Cole Gentry's carrying 16 points, your scorers are getting theirs. I thought it would be a very close game by half-time. I didn't think it would be a blowout.
And Jax was mentioning it's almost like a game of chess between the two coaches, and on the court, this will only intensify further.
Yeah, and I think if I was Drew Spinks, I'd be wondering why my MVP big has ended the first quarter on 11 and hasn't scored again in the second quarter. Yeah. So I'm going to presume that he wants to go back and figure out how he gets him a few more looks, because Taylor Johnson ended on 4 and he's under 14, so he's pretty much on pace to be where he's going to be. But Poland, a little bit disappointing considering they really struggled to get stuff around the rim as well. Surprised Greg Poland hasn't touched the ball a bit more.
So that is the end of the first half here at the Solent Sports Complex. The Solent Kestrels 42, Hemel Storm 43, and we will be back in around 10 minutes' time.
Difficult to do it. Without commitment, sport is nothing. Without commitment, sport can be just recreational tool. Like if we want to have sport as educational tool, it has to be committed.
So Slam Jam, it's a new initiative by Basketball England, targeted at 7 to 11-year-olds. It's about getting the children to have fun, to link basketball with a fun experience so that we can get lifelong involvement in the sport. And it's really focused on engagement and a fun, positive first experience. So it's not so much about the skill development side of basketball. It's really just about giving people a positive first experience of basketball. They're having fun, they're with their friends, they can develop at their own pace in their own time. So it's really developing on coordination, core strength, as well as basketball skills. So there's not necessarily basketball specific games, but they've got basketballs thrown in there. So they're working on dribbling, shooting, passing in a less structured environment than like a training session. And it's just focused on fun and getting primary school age children engaged. When they come to the first Slam Jam session, they get a t-shirt which they can keep. Each primary school, they get some Slam Jam basketballs and a little goodie bag that the children can take home. And another thing, throughout the session, if we see like someone's doing really good at a certain skill or teamwork or being just nice and friendly to other people, they can get stickers. Good practice and sportsmanship as well as being good at the skills. So I think the reason this programme is different is that there's a 12-week curriculum and there's different things to work on. And obviously, as a coach, you can kind of chop and change a little bit as is appropriate for the age group that you're teaching. But it just means that everybody's getting that same fun, first positive experience. Literally, we're just trying to get them to have positive experiences with basketball so that later on they can be maybe even just a supporter of the game. Go online, get in touch with Basketball England. They can also search Slam Jam for the local centres to them that run the initiative, and they can inquire and maybe even get a coach to come in and run a 12-week session.
Semi-final by 12 points and move through to the gold medal game. They're guaranteed a medal here.
When I came and looked around Solent University, it seemed really close-knit. The lecturers were really friendly, and even just on the open day and in my interview they were having a joke with me. They just made me feel really comfortable.
There's a lot of really great work experience opportunities at Solent. We've got Solent Creative, Solent Features and Solent Productions, which is really good at getting work, film, photography and all kind of media-related jobs. Working to real live briefs is really good to get that CV and that work experience, that show reel going.
The best part I found from the course was the external possibilities. So you could go do events pretty much every week if you wanted to.
I've sat down with my tutors for like an hour before just to go through exactly what needs to be done for the essay or something, and it's just really, really helpful.
The opportunities here are really good because the lecturers themselves are contacts. They've been in film and television, and they also can put you in touch with people that they've had experience with as well. If you're looking for example, doing a studio show, you can talk to one of the lecturers and they can set you up with someone who they've worked with in the past.
Facilities are really great. They're updating every year. Our media facilities are great. There's new equipment all the time, and it's kind of keeping up to date with industry standards. So it's really good and kind of preparing us to work in the industry. And all the facilities like the library and all is really handy as well for kind of studying.
If you're passionate about something, they'll push you towards certain work experiences. We have guest lecturers come in, so it allows you to network and meet new people, gives you loads of opportunities.
We have the poster day at the end of our dissertations. We present our final project of the year, which this year was truly amazing. We had multiple different companies like Sky, BBC, White Light, Wimbledon was there. A lot of my friends and I, we got out of poster day and we had jobs by the end of it.
I didn't really want it to be too theory heavy, I didn't want it to be too practical, but I wanted the practical side to sort of complement the other. And Solent University, the way they sort of organise the lectures and the units really stuck out to me.
I definitely recommend any student to come to Solent. It's a really great environment. The building is progressing. There's loads of brand new facilities, and the tutors and the courses and all are great.
I would 100% recommend Solent University. It's been the best decision I've ever made. I was so on the edge of what university to go to, and I have absolutely no regrets.
And welcome back to the Solent Sports Complex as the game between the Kestrels and the Storm evenly matched as we head into the third and fourth quarters. The Storm, though, take a very slender 1 point lead, 43-42 in the penultimate game before the Christmas break. John Hobbs alongside Mark Halewood and Mark Jackson. Of course, we learnt that it's not just El Lynch Trophy semi-final weekend, but that Newcastle are the first team to book their place in the final on the 2nd of January. They defeated the Reading Rockets 92-88. So Team Newcastle will be the first team through to the El Lynch Trophy final in Worthing on the 2nd of January. Who will join them? Will it be the Solent Kestrels or the Derby Trailblazers? That game will be shown tomorrow at 1 p.m. on the Basketball England YouTube channel. Big win, though, for Newcastle, Mark, and another fourth quarter performance from them.
Yeah, and I'm trying to stay neutral and not sound too disappointed being a bit of a Reading homer. But, yeah, Reading leading in the fourth. Obviously don't know much about the story yet, but the usual suspects for Newcastle, Federici, Gale, Blaine, all going 20+, and they've turned it around in the fourth like they often do.
And Jax, now we'll focus on this game. Of course, congratulations to all involved at Team Newcastle, who will be in the final. But an evenly matched first half here, and it's all to play for in this third quarter and fourth quarter. It's you've stayed yourself. It's a game of runs, and it's going to take that, isn't it, for a result to happen?
Yeah, I'd love to have been in the locker rooms listening to what the coaches were saying. But Mark, you were saying at half time about are the coaches going to adapt? Are they going to change their strategies, like that chess game we talked about earlier? So yeah, I'm excited. It's a 1-point game. It's pretty much where we started. Let's see if anybody makes any adjustments.
Shooting a combined 10 for 16 from the field. Taylor Johnson and Greg Polion are both leading the way for the Storm. Johnson with 14 points, Polion on 11. Leading all scorers is Cole Gentry for the Kestrels. He has 16. As we start the third quarter here at the Solent Sports Complex. Really enthusiastic crowd here tonight as well. In fact, there's been an enthusiastic crowd. It's been basketball happening all day inside this venue, starting at 11 o'clock this morning. Of course, we arrived for the Division 2 game between Solent and Greenwich Titans, which Solent won. And Solent women, of course, in our first of our double headers today. Solent Kestrels women defeated the Worcester Wolves 104-54. Jackman lost the ball, and Oyafusi nearly lost it as well, but Sam Newman controls. Johnson, Levi Knoll in the corner. Big rebound from Polion, and he picks up the pieces and scores.
Grown man rebound, that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what you want, right? You want your score in that first possession.
Elliot Dadds. Gentry. Gentry putting the moves on Polion. Max Richardson on a catch and shoot. And Johnson with the rebound. And here is Johnson passing it to Polion. Polion, good defense there from Orlan Jackman. Gentry. Bazumbru drives inside and scores. Beautifully done along the baseline.
Yeah, really tough move from Luke Bazumbru, but going to that left hand when we know he's very strong, and a great finish.
Oyafusi. And the ball goes out of bounds, and it will be a Solent ball. I think we've come to terms with the fact that we're probably not going to have a scoreboard on our graphics for this game, which is a shame, but there's not a lot we can do, unfortunately, about that. So we'll just update you with the scores at regular intervals. Here is Elliot Dadds, misses the layup. And Orlan Jackman is fouled. He's going to go to the line for two, and the Hemel Storm have a 45-44 lead in the first 2 minutes of the third.
It's nice to see what Coach Guyman's done at halftime. The first offense was a small to big, block-to-block screen, which gave Orlan Jackman the look. Then they go with a high handoff to Cole Gentry to give him a look, and you can see he's trying to get his guys going early in the second half, and it's interesting how Hemel may respond on the defensive end.
As Jackman misses the first free throw. Almost bitter silence with us in the commentary box. We're almost like mesmerised by the free throw routine of Orlan Jackman.
The crowd really wanted the free throws to go in. They were dead silent. No distractions.
Near full house here at the Solent Sports Complex. It's great to see. This venue seats up to 400 fans, we're told. So probably around the 370 mark if I'm guessing, but we'll check on the attendance a bit later on. Here is Gentry. Bit of room, puts up a three, is no good. And Oyafusi with the rebound, and he's immediately telling us slow down. But here's Polion, who disagrees and scores. And amongst the fans, a small travelling bunch of Hemel fans, which is always great to see as well. Dadds. And Polion with the rebound. That's 6 rebounds to go with 13 points for Greg Polion so far.
Solent just got a little cold on from the perimeter last 2-3 possessions down.
Taylor Johnson lost the ball, and it's a Kestrels possession. That's a turnover for Taylor Johnson. That's 4 turnovers for the American.
I liked what on the first possession, Hemel ran Taylor Johnson off of a high screen and then drove behind him, knowing that that guy's going to stay tight to Taylor Johnson and not help.
Yep.
It was a quite interesting driving lane.
As a distraction.
Yeah, exactly. It was a really, really good driving lane, but they haven't done it since.
Bazumbru gets it back off Dads. Bazumbru drives at Taylor Johnson. Okoronkwo. Beautiful movement from Okoronkwo.
That's unfortunate for Taylor. That was good D.
It was good defense, but better offense from Brendan Okoronkwo. Sam Newman almost bodying up Cole Gentry and losing the ball, but had it back. 47-46 to the Storm. Sam Newman.
Switch.
3 to shoot. Johnson travelled with it.
Defense, smothering.
Yeah, they've really come out again, aren't they, doing a job on Taylor Johnson. It's just slowing Hemel down. There doesn't look like there's a good second and third option. If they don't get Taylor Johnson, an early look, it's really stalling the Hemel offense.
Solent with a chance to take the lead in a third quarter so far that's been trading buckets more than anything. That's an offensive foul.
Yeah.
As Luke Bazumbru, Luke Bazumbru really just a bit too enthusiastic there.
We've talked about it on other streams where those are such difficult things to call in this country. We don't see a lot of this like quick handoff or handoff and slip.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's often moving screens or people are still moving, but it's not always the case.
Yeah.
But it's a really tough one to call for officials.
Okoronkwo in transition. Okoronkwo with the left hand. And it will stay a Solent possession. As we see the replay, Brendan Okoronkwo so fast in transition, Okoronkwo, and we don't talk enough about Brendan Okoronkwo and how deceptively quick he actually is, especially in the open floor.
I think where he has to go with it is really, really good footwork. You saw it on the one where Taylor Johnson cut him off. He just managed to slow his 2 steps down, slowed his feet. And he's a very sound basketball player, footwork-wise.
Dads finds Okoronkwo in the corner. Okoronkwo short with his 3-point attempt. And here is Taylor Johnson. It's 2 on 4, though. Kestrels get back so quickly. Lashley driving, floating, and puts it in. Gentry. And Torlan Jackman not expecting that. It was a bullet pass from Gentry, but a bit too quick for Jackman. See the replay of Lashley's. That was a fine floater for Jonathan Lashley playing against his former club.
I closed my eyes. I didn't think it was going to go in.
I watched their Solent play when they played London Lions away, that BBL trophy run, and Lashley had a game of his life against his old team.
I remember rightly, he had a double-double in that game.
He was awesome in that game. So we don't have the same impact here. Too much dribbling.
Adelola. Lashley is open, but Adelola short with his turnaround jumper. And here is Okoronkwo. Finds Gentry. Nearly put in a 3. And Gentry into the crowd. Adelola comes up with it. It's 1-on-1. And Bazumbru gets back. Good defense there from Luke Bazumbru.
Just feel really nervous for Hemel. Like then, Bodie dribbles the ball for 15 seconds. Polion and Taylor Johnson just stand and
watch.
Yeah, you just wonder how long can they keep doing that until Solent goes the other way and starts to put points on the board.
Well, Gentry now takes a seat. Elliot's sentence comes in for the Kestrels.
Let's see if Elliot can get to the hole rather than shoot.
Great inside-outside player is Elliot's sentence, but favouring the outside shot just a little too much as Adelola, as the shot clock was winding down. Bazumbru And Lashley picks up the loose ball. And here is Lashley. It's 3-on-2. Lashley with a pull-up jumper, long. And Archer with the rebound.
I'm John Lashley. I'm going to the hole there.
5 rebounds for Archer. Bazumbru inside to Archer, and a foul has been called. I think that'll be on Levi Knoll.
Been lingering around this 3-point, 4-point mark for some time, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's been a case of just bucket trading for this entire third period, hasn't it? And Levi Knoll on his first foul now, and the Storm lead 49-46 with 4:08 remaining in the third. Sentence goes for 3, and that's off the back iron.
I think you made a good comment earlier, John. He's a bit of a different player, isn't he, this season? Not quite as efficient going to the rim, and it doesn't get that inside-outside game going like he did the season previous when he was with the Kestrels.
Taylor Johnson, Levi Knoll, baseline 3. Both teams really struggling in the third quarter from downtown. They've dropped their three-point percentage to, well, 20. Both of them playing 22%. Bazumbru puts on the Jets.
Yeah, such pace. And he finished with his right hand. That was nice. We'll point that one out.
We saw a brief look at the near full house here at the Solent Sports Complex. And a very weird replay as we see Luke Bazumbru. There he goes, just driving to the hoop in transition. As we see, that's Luke Bazumbru. That's his bread and butter, isn't it, Jax? Just loves to run in that open floor and get the majority of his points.
It's exciting to watch, and it's exciting to play with, because you know he's just going to keep going. He won't stop. It's like an Energizer bunny. But then John Lashley must have known, right, here comes Luke, he's coming at me. He practiced with and played with him all last year.
And that's a
still
guy,
can't stop him.
And Luke Bazumbru, a guy, Mark, that's really coming back into the form that we're used to seeing him. He spent a few seasons struggling with injury and playing reduced minutes off the bench, but really repaying the loyalty that Matt Guyman has shown him.
Well, I heard at some point there was even rumours of him hanging it up and he wasn't going to carry on. So he got his body into just great shape, and as Jack said, this kind of north-south that he can do, take it off the rim and just go. There's not many people in this league that can do it. And not many that can stop him either. He's a real, as you said, energizer for this team. If you can get them going, maybe we'll be able to perhaps close the lead and get in front finally.
Hemel Storm lead 49-48, and for all the excitement that this game has shown, it's been a low-scoring third quarter. Only 6 points, or 12 points total. Both teams scoring 6. Solent top of the table. Great pass from Adalola, and Taylor Johnson will go to the line. Of course, first v third in this game. Of course, Solent 6 straight wins in all competitions, and suffered a rare home loss to the Thames Valley Cavaliers, but have rebounded really well from that. And that was a big question: is how were they going to rebound from a home loss, their first one in 2 years, nearly 3 years?
Yeah, it was inevitable they were going to get one here. They're not going to go undefeated in this arena. But that was interesting. Their little team huddle. It looked a little bit of uncertainty there. There was a bit of confusion going on. Who's doing what?
I said earlier in the year, and it might be an unpopular opinion in these parts, but Solent feel a little different this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lose again, or maybe in the third time this year. Somewhat to do with Solent, and somewhat to do with the personnel on the other teams.
We did touch on that a bit in the first quarter, didn't we? How Solent was such a strong first quarter team last season, blowing teams out very early, but a number of teams have hung around this time around as Sentence goes again for 3 and is short. Storm lead by 3 with 2:48 remaining in the third. And ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Solent possession.
Just thinking, Jack, from your playing days, if you were Elliot Sentence or you were coaching Elliot Sentence, what are you looking for now? Are you trying to get him into a post-up? Are you trying to get him to pick and roll?
Maybe coming off a screen where he's curling, and he can go downhill at the hoop. I know my coach in the States may have said, keep shooting, it will fall eventually, but Come on, try and get to the line.
Yep.
Let's get your pin down. Let's get a post up, a mismatch or something.
It's interesting that you two actually point that out, because Sensitz now takes a seat and Max Richardson comes back in. Max Richardson, more of an offensive and more of an inside-minded player. Does like to shoot the three, but is back into the game. Newman. And Taylor Johnson is fouled by Archer. That's 3 fouls for Kamal Archer.
That's just clever, isn't it? If you can get one away from him.
Hemel leading 51-48 with 2:23 remaining in the third.
What's interesting, at Thames Valley, Taylor did a lot of the point guard responsibilities. He used to bring it. I know Blade was there, but Taylor used to have that ball in his hands a lot more. And here he seems to play off the ball more.
And we've seen it over the years. One of the best off-the-ball movers was Taylor Johnson, and gets himself into such great positions. Here is Max Richardson at the elbow, and that's money. And Jack, the pass there from Newman. Adelola wasn't expecting it. Cole Gentry off the glass. That's 4 quick points, and the Kestrels now take a 52-51 lead.
Been teetering, isn't it? Yeah. Now it's about to tip.
Newman. Polion stems the bleeding for 3.
Big shot.
Dad's for a 2. It's good. It's a case of whatever you can do, I can do as well. Game is tied at 54. Adelola looking for Shaquille Lewis, and Shaquille Lewis scores his first 2 since the first quarter. He now moves into double figures on 10.
I think that's his first look, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
The guy's efficient. Got the switch.
Gentry putting the moves on Lewis. Almost wide open there was Gentry. Okoronkwo gives it back to him. Big 3 for Gentry. And battle there between Okoronkwo and Taylor Johnson. And ball goes out of bounds, and Taylor Johnson and Hemel will keep hold of it with 52.9 seconds remaining in what has been a very cagey and very nervy third quarter. But Hemel have weathered the storm, no pun intended, Mark, and have a 2-point lead. Thank you very much.
You've done well there.
That was good, yeah. That was quite quick.
You could just see, like, sometimes in design, the last one where they get Sam Newman on a pin down, he curls, catches it from Johnson, and kicks it out to Polion, who's popped. It looks really good like that, but you haven't seen it a lot. Again, we're seeing a bit of offense there. They go
Johnson, no good.
Sorry, John, back to the ball handler, and then go quick pick and roll, and it looks good. It hasn't happened often, though.
Gentry finds Dads. Will slow it down a little bit. About a 13-second differential between shot clock and game clock. Okoronkwo driving, finds a bit of room and scores. Brendan Okoronkwo, he wanted a foul, but will have to settle for the 2. Game is tied at 56. Shot clock is off.
I said earlier, what would you tell Elliot Sentence? That's what I tell him.
There you go, yeah.
Attack the basket,
put it on the deck.
get to the rim.
Adelola driving, kicking, finds Newman, extra pass. And Shaquille Lewis for 3 on the buzzer.
This guy's huge.
Wow.
A 3 for Shaquille Lewis.
He's got 13.
He's got 13 points, 6 for 6 from the field. And you see the replay. Beautiful extra pass there from Sam Newman. And Shaquille Lewis, Jack says, thank you very much, I'll take that.
He's having a night. I mean, what's he averaging?
9.
He's got 10 points, 13 points, 6 for 6 from the field. That's his first 3 of the game.
Getting it done.
Averaging 9 on the year, so beating his season average 3 quarters in.
Normally an athletic guard who likes to get up, likes to play above the rim, but showing us his mid-range and 3-point repertoire, Mark.
Yeah, genuinely didn't know he had it in him, and that's me being honest, because like you said, John, he picks up a lot of stuff around the rim, works well in that kind of dunker spot for little dump downs and dunks, but yeah, he's showing the full repertoire today, mid-range and the 3-point.
Absolutely, and Jack's, we were saying not just before this game, but before the women's game started, when we were briefly touching on this game, how the focus will be on Johnson and Polion for the Storm. It's not really turned out that way because Shaquille Lewis has come to play.
Yeah, I mean, Solent, they've held him to 16 and 18, Polion and Johnson, but yeah, sometimes you just have those players that step up that aren't on your scouting report, and all of a sudden the guy's having a game. Now Matt has to make adjustments and get out to him.
Hemel Storm lead 59-56. Greg Polion leading all scorers alongside Cole Gentry with 18. Taylor Johnson with 16. Shaquille Lewis with 13. And yeah, for the Kestrels, even though one player is in double figures for scoring, it's still quite an even spread, isn't it? A little more even than what the Hemel Storm scoring spread is. It's all setting up, Mark, to be an entertaining and really exciting fourth period.
Yeah, it's going to be these ones, isn't it? Whichever team finds the answer in this quarter to string together a couple of stops and a couple of scores is probably going to go on to win the game. But yeah, which team that is remains to be seen.
This is what NBL Live is all about.
Let's go.
Fun quarters coming up.
10
A
minutes.
full house here at the Solent Sports Complex as well. So many fans making their noise, making their voices heard, and this is what it's about. Just before Christmas, it's a perfect early Christmas present for basketball fans in this country. If you're tuning in, Gentry. Dad's for three. Dad's rattles it in.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. Hand in his face.
The game is tied at 59.
That's huge. Energy play. Let's see what they get.
Polion.
We're going this way.
Polion
Two-man.
looking for options, finds it in Johnson. 8 to shoot.
Two-man game.
Back to Johnson. Got to put up something. Shot clock down to 2. Shaquille Lewis. Again!
God,
Shaquille Lewis just can't miss.
Shaquille Lewis is huge.
7 for 7 from the field. 16 points.
Even the Hemel bench is going nuts. They can't believe it.
Jackman. Beautiful footwork. Doesn't get it. Lewis with the rebound. 62-59 to Hemel. Adelola.
Let's go, Solent. D up.
New plan. Get Shaquille Lewis the ball.
Yeah. He's your new
Here
leading
is
scorer.
Johnson driving at Bazumbru, finds a bit of room and lays it up and in. Hemel Storm now lead by 5, 64-59. Bazumbru driving at Johnson, has a bit of room inside. Polion with the defense, shot clock down to 7. Gentry, Jackman, wide open.
Oh.
And Newman rebounds.
Great no call by the refs down here as well on the
Yeah, let them play.
Taylor Johnson block attempt, or charge attempt, should I say.
Nice cross.
Newman.
Nice D.
And it's stripped by Gentry.
Ahead. Pitch ahead. Nice pass.
And inside it goes
Nice
to
pass.
Bazumbru, and the Kestrels get a little bit of relief on the scoreboard.
I love seeing point guards pass the ball up the floor. Old school. Stop dribbling that thing so much.
64-61 in favour of Hemel. The decibels just going slightly more higher here. Johnson scores.
That's a tough shot.
Doing what you said earlier, though, Jax, getting
Get to the rack.
Gentry for 3
Taylor
off the back iron.
Sorry.
Archer rebounds. Archer looking for a foul, but nothing doing. Newman in transition.
Oh, no.
Bumps his man and scores.
Oh, no.
Veteran play from Sam Newman to get Elliot Dadds out the way. And Hemel Storm, Mark, now leads 68-61, and Matt Guyman has seen enough.
Yeah, but sorry, John, before I cut you off rudely, I was...
How dare you?
I know. They got Taylor Johnson on the ball again. Instead of coming off a pick, they started with him on the ball. And he's able to get to the rim twice, and then the look ahead to get another 2, and they've opened this one up to a 7-point ball game.
So good when he's on the ball. Creative.
Yeah, I remember saying early on, he can just score in so many different ways. It's why he's fun to watch. And like I said, you think you're defending the mid range, and he's split a pick and roll, and he's got inside, and then you're trying to guard something different. So yeah, he's a good one in this league.
Of course, while we get our breath back, and hopefully you're all getting your breath back at home, I know the fans inside the Solent Sports Complex are just taking a few minutes to just breathe themselves. Just a big shout out to our game day sponsors and our NBL Live sponsors for the season. Wilson, SportServe, Dynamic, Sure Shot and Sport England, providing you with coverage of the NBL and the WNBL on Basketball England's YouTube channel this season. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and this is why we're asking you to like, share and subscribe. It's games like this right now. It's a near full house. We've got a capacity of 375, we're told, which is just off the full house here today.
Be really interesting now to see what the coaches do.
Yeah.
What's good, these next couple of minutes could be pretty crucial. So,
Yep.
see what changes, if any, get made.
Jackman turns, puts it up, no good. Tries to get his own rebound, does, and will go to the line.
Go to your veteran.
And Greg Polion showing a bit of frustration. And Drew Spinks straight away just trying to get his attention and telling him to just calm down.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get a silly technical there. But again, what's great about what Solent do is that it's out of design. They come off another block-to-block screen and they pin down Orland Jackman's guy to get him a catch on the foul line. And then Shaquille Walters then has to chase out to the foul line and then guard him there, which I'd take Orland Jackman 9 times out of 10 from that position.
Yeah. And someone of his size, great off the dribble, great one-on-one player, great footwork.
Orland Jackman really struggling from the field today, actually. 1 for 10 from the field. He has 3 points, but has 8 rebounds, 2 assists to go with that statistic. So he's contributing in other ways, but really struggling from the field right now. He's 1 for 4 also from the foul line.
See if he can pick it up in these last 7 minutes. But getting in the post, attacking the rim, getting to the line, getting comfortable, getting some shots from the foul line. You'd expect someone like him to step up in this last quarter.
It's funny how his struggle from the field doesn't feel like the same as Elliott's sentence.
Yeah.
Feels really different. Still contributing, like I say, getting inside, getting to the rim, rebounding.
Yeah.
Feels really different.
But Sentence, in a way, even though shooting 1 for 9, also, getting 3 rebounds to that stat as well. Sam Newman. We're ticking at 8. Here is Johnson. Short. Johnson was a little off balance when he took that shot as well. 68-62, and Bazumbru nearly lost the ball. Gentry driving, nearly stolen. In fact, he did get it stolen, but it will stay a Solent ball. Good defense from Shaquille Lewis. Shaquille Lewis seeing more minutes than even he is accustomed to, which is so deserving of what performance he has put on tonight.
And nice to see him get, a stop on the defensive end there as well. Not just doing it on the offensive end. He's dialed in. Certainly dialed in this evening.
Absolutely. 16 points, 6 rebounds for Shaquille Lewis. 7 for 7 from the field.
Oh, I can't see what's going on. Now I can on the camera. He's lost his shoe. He's lost his shoe. That's a bet move right there. Oh, my shoelace is undone. I'm tired. Let me have a breather.
Has he been out of the game yet?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think he has he?
No. He's doing his shoelace up because he's tired.
Yeah. With the greatest of respect to Taylor Johnson, it doesn't take that long to tie a shoelace up, but hey I'm not arguing.
We've all been there. and
Bazumbru lost the ball. They're calling a travel. Jackman for 3, and that doesn't even hit the rim. And a shot clock violation, but...
he threw the ball to himself there.
Yeah, he did. He passed the ball to himself. But Cole Gentry, as you can see, is holding his...
Look like his
holding
forearm.
it looks like he's holding his elbow.
I wonder if he's got caught on the funny bone, when you get hit in it.
Well, Elliott's sentence will come back in. Cole Gentry will take a seat, and that
come on, Ellie.
looks quite worrying.
Get to the rack.
He's gone straight for treatment. It's always whether he's hit it on the outside or even when you get it on the inside. This bit too, never very pleasant.
Lewis, Newman, Johnson puts up a 3, strings it.
That's big.
Bazumbru, Jackman.
Great
inside to Dads. Dads goes away from the basket and banks it home.
Elliott's hit a few big shots like that, just as Solent need one.
10 points for Elliott Dads. Adelola. Polion for 3. Wow. Polion strings it. It's back-to-back threes for the Storm. They lead 71-64.
That's a big shot. 2 big shots.
21 now for number 21. And the players are demanding a floor wiper on the court, and there is the floor wiper just wiping off a bit under the basket on the Solent side. But what a way to answer back from the Storm. Back-to-back three-pointers, absolutely.
Your two key guys are the ones stepping up.
And it's a double-digit lead. It's 74-64, excuse me. It's not 71-64 as I thought.
You were ahead of the scorers, though,
I
John.
was behind that on that occasion. But either way, it's 74-64 in favour of the Hemel Storm. 5:30 remaining. Okoronkwo.
Newman's doing a good job on that mismatch there.
Bazumbru off the glass. Beautifully done from Luke Bazumbru.
How can they get a stop? No more trading baskets.
13 for Bazumbru. Polion. Putting the moves on Jackman. Loses the ball.
Good defense. What's he calling?
And a foul is called on Jackman. That's his first foul. Only Camille Archer in reasonable foul trouble for the Kestrels. He has 3. Only Bazumbru and Dads have 2.
Wow.
Newman at the controls. Newman with 8 on the shot clock. Polion stripped by Bazumbru, and it's a Solent ball.
See if the crowd can get behind him here, if he hit a big shot.
It's where the Hemel can stop this momentum. You can feel the crowd getting into it a bit, can't you?
Absolutely, as you see there, is good defense from Bazumbru, and here he is on the ball on cue. Jackman needs this, but still is cold.
All right, can Bodie be smart? Have a bit of poise.
Well, absolutely, Jax. You know, this is
Have
now
a bit of poise now.
Absolutely, Hemel with time on their side. There's still a lot of time to go.
Long shot clocks. Be smart.
7 to shoot. Adalola over Bazumbru is long. Sentence with a big rebound. 74-66 in favour of Hemel. Okoronkwo, short 2. Sentence going for 3 and puts it in finally.
There we go. Maybe he's been waiting to the 4. Yeah. 4 minutes ago, I'm going to hit like 6 of them. Don't worry, boys, I got this.
I think this is smart from Hemel, though, to slow down a little bit. You know, there is limited possessions. We're going to be under 4.
Yeah.
If they could take some ticks off the clock while they keep scoring.
Taylor Johnson stolen by Bazumbru. Bazumbru now at the rim, lays it up and in.
Timeout.
Drew Spinks. The fans on their feet.
Travis is pumped. Travis is animated.
Hemel leads 74-71.
That was a big few possessions right there, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And if you're Drew Spinks, that's a good timeout as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where as a coach, you're thinking, could he taken it? Does he need one earlier? I don't know. But if he can go back to design, then he's probably going to be okay. Like I said, I don't think them slowing down the game now is a bad thing.
No.
They were up 10.
Yeah.
You know, but Taylor Johnson gets caught with 1. Bazumbru goes down the other end, easy layup, and they're sort of back in a game now. So hopefully, he can come out of something with this timeout. If he gets a score now, puts it back to 5, he'll start to feel comfortable again.
Yeah. Score and a stop and an easy look for someone.
You
go ahead.
3:52 remaining in the 4th. Hemel Storm leads 74-71. Taylor Johnson leading all scorers with 23 points. Greg Polion with 21. And for the Kestrels, Carl Gentry leading the way with 18 points. Both teams shooting reasonably well from the field. Hemel shooting just under 50%, and the Kestrels a bit below them on 36.
You get this feeling as well, don't you? If Cole Gentry's not going to come back in, Solent are going to have to do with his defence as they come out in pressure again.
Yep.
Out of the timeout.
Gentry, Newman lost the ball again.
Good defence.
Here is Newman.
Shot clock, can they see it?
Shot clock down to 5.
Did they see
Polion, it's around the back pass, it was really dodgy. Oyafusi, big three, knocks it down at the buzzer.
You play D for 20 seconds and they hit a three on you.
Wow. Out of a broken play as well.
That's the most frustrating thing ever. Where's that going?
And a wild pass, and it goes straight to Sam Newman.
Come on, Cole. This is where you shake your arm off and you get in there.
Start shooting left-handed.
Here we go.
Well, if Kobe Bryant did it, so can he, right?
Shake your
anyway.
arm off.
And Cole Gentry will come back onto the floor.
Let's go.
And you've got to believe, you've got to wonder, how bad that elbow is and what kind of contribution he has. He's on the floor now. Elliot Sentence takes a seat.
I'm sure he'll want to play. Jack, you'd have been in the same position, right? You'd be one on the floor. Just one to note here, quite interesting. Both teams in low team fouls. If you're the team that's down, if you're Solent, that's not going to help you towards an end game. They need to foul a few people and
be a bit more aggressive.
Yep.
Take a few more gambles on some steals.
Absolutely.
Adalola for three, short. No one's on 4 fouls at the moment as well. A couple of players on 3. Bazumbru to the races, and he's too strong. Adalola to Newman, to Adalola. Blocked by Jackman.
There's a lot
and
of
here
contact.
is Jackman again. Off the glass, puts it in, a foul.
I thought Brendan got away with one at the other end.
Agree.
Bodie got him on the body and then he got pinned. That could have gone 2 ways.
Orlan Jackman, who hasn't had the best shooting night, coming alive in this 4th quarter. That's only his 2nd field goal in 13 attempts.
Big one to get, though.
Absolutely. The Storm, though, leads 77-73, but a chance to make it, Jack's, a one-possession game.
Yeah. Sorry, I was listening to you and watching Drew Spinks getting the referee's ear over there. He was adamant there was a foul at the other end, and he's not letting him. Yeah, he's just listened to him, and then he's just ignored him.
But at the same time, he's got to calm down. If Drew Spinks keeps talking...
Could get one.
Exactly, as you see a fantastic crowd, and even the Christmas jumper is out in force there. Love that, yeah.
It's interesting, the last one, Jack, you and I were right behind it. There was a lot of contact. I know if the speed of it just meant the refs weren't caught up, but 3 quick plays. Oyafusi pulls the chair on Bazumbru this end, no call that end, and then the foul call on all on this end. So
bit inconsistent in this last 2 minutes.
A little bit, but they are letting them play a bit. So,
and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, as a player, you want that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this is what NBL Live Basketball is all about on the Basketball England YouTube channel. A game going down to the wire in front of a full house.
All right.
1st v 3rd. A rematch of last season's playoff final. And my goodness me, they're giving us value for money here. Polion. Johnson looking for Polion. Finds him. Puts a 3 up. Knocks it down.
That's huge. That is huge. Each time he's come up with a big play.
Gentry. Big possession for the Kestrels, trailing by 6. And
going the other way. No, it's staying.
It's staying that way, yeah. Gentry will go to the line for 2, an 81% foul shooter.
I just wondered they were going to call it on Kamel Archery, just bulldoze Taylor Johnson down the lane. But on the other end, Jax, it's what we've been calling for all year, all game, is that they go Taylor Johnson, Greg Polian, pick and pop, pick your poison, right?
He has stepped up big, Poley. He's at the last 2, isn't he?
Yep.
And Cole
he was MVP. Sorry, you can.
And Cole Gentry had 27 points last week in a, you have to say, a narrow win against the Bradford Dragons. They won by double digits, 10 points, but it was a narrow win. Bradford pushed them all the way. Hemel pushing them a bit harder this week. 76-80 in favour of the Storm. 2 minutes remaining. Johnson. Hemel with their MVP on the floor in Polion, excuse me. And Taylor Johnson makes no mistake. Gentry puts on the Jets. It'll stay as Solent possession, and Gentry holding that wrist this time.
Still only a 6-point game.
Bazumbru. Gentry. Good defense there from Sam Newman. He got the ball as well. Archer dives on it, and he got it back. And a foul has been called.
Got a foul, Newman.
Yeah, Sam Newman fouled him on the floor.
They got fouls to give.
Great defense, though, Jax, from Sam Newman there, but great hustle from Kamal Archer.
Yeah.
I forgot Chris was commentating. I've just heard him then. I forgot he was down there commentating.
Of course, Chris Hughes, part of the fantastic rebound blog covering the NBL. Bazumbru, there he is for three. Ooh, short. Uncharacteristic, yes, but he can hit them.
I think if you're Hemel, though, you're happy with that. You take a 20-footer from Bazumbru.
Yep.
As we wind down to the final 90 seconds, this is a big possession for the Storm. Newman, three to shoot. Okoronkwo with the steal. Newman throws it up. It's a shot clock violation.
Timeout.
It eats away precious seconds, mind you, even though it's a turnover.
There are probably worse things you can do with 24 seconds.
Absolutely.
I presume Drew Spinks won't be too unhappy. I guess the only thing he'll be unhappy about is he goes into under a minute and 30 and his MVP and his potential MVP this season haven't touched the ball in that possession, so he's probably frustrated there. But got to get his head now into what does Solent come out with? What is he going to do defensively? Is he going to change anything or stick with the man they've been doing kind of for most of the game?
What an encounter. A pulsating encounter here at the Solent Sports Complex, and with 1:02 remaining, and Jax, it remains very real to the Kestrels that they might be dropping their second game of the season. And for teams like Hemel and Worthing, of course, who are playing Nottingham Hoods later on, or they're actually currently playing Nottingham Hoods in the early stages of that game, this is a big result as we enter the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we've been saying multiple times today that the top 3-4 teams on any given day, any one of them can beat each other. Solent come down, Elliot starts hitting shots, different shots. It could be a different swing. Taylor and then miss those shots down the stretch. Hemel have just outplayed Solent today.
And just looking at some of the replays of the fantastic action that we've seen, that block from Jackman actually was a goaltend. Referees missed one.
And a foul for Brendan Opera. And he was fouled. All right, what are we doing here?
1:02 remaining. This is a big, big possession for the Kestrels.
Doesn't need to be quick either.
It's going to be an elevator screen of some sort. No.
Gentry played well by Adalola. Here is Okoronkwo. Finds a bit of room inside. Kicks it out. Bazumbru was partially blocked by Oyafusi. And a foul called by Jackman.
But this is where now I said not being in team fouls now, it hurts them. Yeah, they haven't fouled enough during this fourth quarter.
Yep.
As you saw the drive there, and Bazumbru met at the rim by Oyafusi. Really nice defensive play from Teo. Yeah, this hurts them.
Absolutely. And Oyafusi, a defensive specialist. We don't talk about that often, how strong defensively Teo Oyafusi is. Proving it there. Bazumbru nearly stole it off Johnson, and travel has been called.
Wow, that's not his call. How's he called that?
Tipped out of his hands.
That's a huge call.
He lost the ball. He's made a few questionable calls. That was big.
That needs. I think they're going to ask for the refs to chat that over, because Taylor tries to pass the ball. It's tipped out of his hands.
Yeah, he grabs it and starts going.
Here it is.
Yeah. It's a loose ball that he picked
You look
up.
there, yeah.
He got tipped.
Oh, what a call to have to make. 48 seconds remaining.
Oh, he's giving it Hemel's way. No, it's staying.
No, it's staying.
It's staying.
Fans are loving that. Hemel on the other hand.
That's a home team call.
That's
a
huge call.
Not too keen.
Drew Spinks really not happy, but play continues. Gentry. Huge possession for the Kestrels. Wide open Jackman for three.
Oh, it's just not fooled.
And Johnson rebounds.
Just not fooling, is
Hemel rise to their feet.
Still need to burn another foul.
Not in team fouls yet.
Need one more.
It's a third foul on Dads.
More time every time.
Adalola. They still haven't fouled yet. Johnson.
They wanted an 8-second call, didn't get it.
They didn't get it. Here's Newman. And now a foul has been called. 26.1 seconds left. That's a third foul on Okoronkwo. And the Storm have a 6-point lead and can stretch it to 8.
Yeah, 11 seconds off that possession as they were hoping to get an 8-second call. Didn't get it. Bodie gets over the halfway line just in time. And then it ends up in the hands of Sam Newman, who's a good foul shooter.
Absolutely, yeah.
Probably couldn't have gone much worse, that possession for Solent.
And Sam Newman, a 94% foul shooter for the season.
I knew you'd be there with the stat.
Yeah,
I knew it.
The legendary Dave Owen helping me out this week with statistics. A timeout called by Matt Guyman with 26.1 seconds remaining. And for the Kestrels, who have won their last 6 games in all competitions, they are in real danger of dropping their second game of the season, but it's the second game at home.
Yeah, I mean, like I said it earlier, it'd be an unpopular opinion. And I've exchanged a few text messages with some of the players across the league and who I'm friendly with, and said, I think there is 2 losses in Solent and maybe more this year. And it's not just them; it's the other teams in the league. Really, getting better rosters. But let's not get too far ahead. This one, is an 8-point ball game, 26 to go. Stranger things have happened. Guyman's going to advance the ball here. I think now he probably has to get something quick again. Probably just get a score on the board, right? Get a 2 or a 3 quickly. But whatever it is, has to be quick.
Jack's obviously, you've got to agree with that as well. And if you're Drew Spinks on the other side, it's a case of just, no silly fouls.
Oh, you need to lock in.
Contend every jump shot that you can.
Switch most things. No and ones. I mean, if you look at Solent, if Cole, all right, his arm may not have paid a massive. We haven't seen the true Kestrels. Travis has been on the bench. There's a number of questions. You'd like to see a fit Travis.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, remember as well, no Andre Arisol today either. There's another loss that we mentioned at the top of the show,
It would be interesting to see if they bounce back tomorrow against Derby.
Maybe they'll go direct to the post here to Orland straight in.
Yep.
And there it is. Got to put up something quick. Sentence, big 3, doesn't get anything. Dads misses the layup. Jackman for 3. No good. And the ball goes out of bounds. That'll be a Hemel ball. Hemel, who have won 3 of their last 4 games in all competitions, timeout called. You've got to say that should be all now.
Yeah, you'd think so. I think Coach Spinks will advance the ball here, get it away from his own basket at very minimum. He's got to get the ball in. I think at this point he won't mind who gets it, so whether he gets it to Taylor Johnson or Sam Newman, but I'm sure a pressure release guy who's setting the screen and just opens up, he'll take that as well. But yeah, this one might be a bridge too far now for Solent.
Yeah. Shame this, they haven't been able to hit the shots when they needed them.
Absolutely,
Hemel superstars stepped up and hit shots.
Solent shooting 35% from the field. Hemel 49%. But, for 3-pointers, 10 for 25 Hemel in this game, 8 for 38 for the Kestrels.
Solent have shot 38 threes? That can't be right. Is that right?
That is right. 8 for 38.
It's a lot. It's a lot of threes.
And Elliot Sentence has taken 10 of those. As Mark Jackson just scowls.
It's a good job we don't let the camera on you with that face. But it's a good point though, Jackson, because on that last play, they get straight into the post to Jackman, I thought was really good.
Yeah.
They get Elliot Sentence off a curl, who's 1 for 10, and he shoots your 3.
And for Hemel now with possession, 13.3 remaining.
Stolen. Oh, what they call foul?
Yep.
Oh.
And a foul has been called on Orland Jackman. That's his 3rd foul. And now Solent in the penalty. So Hemel, with 12.4 remaining, have the chance to put this game permanently on ice.
Looks like there's no timeouts now for either coach, so Poland's going to want to knock both these in. There's no advantage to not letting them call a timeout. So bury both these and you're back off around the M25 home.
25 points, 9 rebounds tonight for Greg Polion. Not quite the double figures he's used to. Taylor Johnson also just missing out on a double-double, 25 points, 9 rebounds himself. Shot clock is off. Okoronkwo for 3. Nearly stringed the 3. It was short. Orlan Jackman goes for 3 and is fouled by Greg Polion. 2.7 seconds remaining. That's Polion's 4th, but it's 86-76 to the Hemel Storm in what is a statement victory, no doubt about it. Solent will move on to 10-2, and of course they will travel to Derby tomorrow in the L. Lynch Trophy semi-final, where Newcastle await the winners of that one. But make no mistake, this really impacts the table massively. Of course, Hemel in 3rd place, Worthing currently playing Nottingham Hoods in 2nd, but Solent now losing ground in the top of the table.
I mean, I think we would all still expect Solent to stay top for the duration of the season. I don't think they'll drop, they may drop another. I don't think they'll drop too many more. I think for me, it makes playoff time interesting, doesn't it? Because everyone feels very beatable. No one goes in feeling very invincible.
Yep. And that's what NBL basketball is all about, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
So the Hemel Storm have come to the House of Champions and have reclaimed their place as title contenders. They avenge last season's playoff title defeat to the Kestrels in Manchester with a statement 86-77 victory over the Solent Kestrels. Greg Polion leading all scorers with 26 points, 8 rebounds. And Taylor Johnson with 25 on his own accord. 51 combined points for those two. And for the Solent Kestrels, Cole Gentry with 20 points. Luke Buzumbru with 15 points. But a second home defeat this season for the Kestrels. And Jax, do you agree with that statement from Mark, especially given we're now at the halfway end of the season? Maybe the Christmas break has come at a good time for Solent.
I believe so. I mean, I looked at the scoreboard when you were talking. When was the last time you saw Solent score like 77 or they gave up 86 points? I don't know if this is uncharacteristic. They just didn't have a great shooting night. But yeah, maybe tomorrow going to Derby will wake them up. We might see a completely different scoreline tomorrow. Shots falling. But it doesn't hurt to lose one every now and again, does it? Keep people in check.
Absolutely.
Get too confident.
And Mark, just finally from you, Solent now move on tomorrow. They've got L. Lynch Trophy semi-final action against a Derby Trailblazers team that will be no doubt licking their lips at this scoreline and thinking, you know what, we can do this. It was an off day last week in the National Cup, and now they have a very real chance of advancing to the L. Lynch Trophy final where Newcastle awaits in Worthing.
Yeah, I mean the turnaround time for an elite sport is pretty ridiculous, right? It's tipping at 6 on Saturday, it'll be tipping at Derby at 1 on the Sunday, so it's a particularly difficult tip. And then on top of that, Derby is strengthened. They've got Blake Bowman back. They've got a few other guys back who have spent some time in the US and now back here in the UK. So, if you're Derby, you're looking at it probably thinking, we'll give this another go tomorrow because, Solent struggled tonight. And it should, John, last thing, Shaquille Lewis shouldn't be understated this evening. Had a wonderful night and has probably made the difference. And Sam Newman, I know you said Jax earlier, just very controlled. Great to have another guard that's just under control. When you've got Taylor Johnson playing 40 minutes, you need a guy like that to step up. So very tough evening for Solent. Derby will look forward to it tomorrow, but all credit to Hemel. They've got their guys going into the game and come out as the victors.
Absolutely, and Jax will now turn to you as Mark goes down courtside to try and get a few words with the Hemel players. We speak about the Solent Kestrels. Straight away, we'll be back in action tomorrow against Derby. For Hemel, their final game against the Bradford Dragons at home before Christmas. And again, Bradford have really been a tough opposition, especially in the last 4 or 5 games. So now the focus turns to them. That'll be a difficult game for Hemel.
Yeah. I mean, they're a physical side, aren't they, Bradford? I think the last game I watched, Bradford were without Rihard, and they were missing another key player. But yeah, no, they're a tough team to play always. I think Hemel will be, like you say, confident about this win. Want to go get that one before the Christmas break, and then be able to enjoy themselves.
Absolutely, in the penultimate game before the Christmas break. Of course, that'll be the final. This is the final game for the NBL Live team this year. Of course, the next time we will be on your screens will be at the Worthing Leisure Centre across the M27, on January the 2nd, when Newcastle will play either Solent or Derby in the L. Lynch Trophy final. That should be a fantastic occasion, no doubt about it. But a great result here tonight for the Hemel Storm, led by Greg Polion, as we see the highlights of tonight's fantastic and pulsating encounter.
That one, it looked like Brendan stepped out of bounds.
A few questionable calls throughout, but obviously we can see it back. The referees can't. It just is what it is.
I wonder if they'll ever bring this courtside camera on for British basketball like they do in the NBA.
And now we're handing it over to Mark Halewood.
Join this evening. Teo Ofusi joins me. Unbelievable win this evening. Statement win for the Hemel Storm?
Yeah, I think so. After a disappointing game last Sunday, we knew we had to come out here and prove that we're worth our sauce. So yeah, I think it's a great game for us.
And although there were great performances, Greg Polion, good tonight, Taylor Johnson, Shaquille Lewis, who's 7 for 7, ends up with 16 points. How big was he tonight?
He was huge. I was just telling him just then that he's doing nothing that I don't know he can't do. He does this.
Yeah.
We give him an opportunity and he comes out here and he's massive for us. It's a big part of our team.
So then going forwards, we've seen Solent take 2 losses now. Do you think the division is just stronger this year? There's more teams in the top kind of 5 who have, stronger rosters. Are we going to expect, a bit more change in the top 5?
Yeah, I think so. This year it's been super competitive. So, teams are losing to people that are even below the top 5. So I think, we continue where we're going right now, and we're going to see a lot of changes.
That was Teo Ofusi. Appreciate it, John. Back to you.
And Mark, just quickly, you can't really argue with what Teo said, and a statement win, but some fair comments that he made.
Yeah, most definitely. The interesting things like we keep repeating. It's so competitive. It's more fun to watch. I've been at games when Solent have been up by 50 in the third quarter, and I personally have gone home because they're up by 50. And now everything's so close. Any given night, anybody can win. And I believe that Hemel deserved to win today. They shot the ball better, made plays down the stretch.
And that brings an end to a pulsating doubleheader of WNBL NBL action here from the Solent Sports Complex. We'll be back here in the new year again as we do another doubleheader when Derby Trailblazers come to town in the NBL, and before that the Bristol Flyers face the Solent Kestrels in WNBL action. My thanks to Mark Jackson and Mark Halewood. I'm John Hobbs. Good evening, everybody.